I salute you for coming back to us, part two of today's FBJ Studios entry from Wednesday, December 18th. Real quick, I guess we should give out some contact info because we never have. I'm your host, Stan White. We usually just jump right in. I apologize for the rudeness. You can contact me on Facebook, Stanley White Jr., Stan White Jr. Gmail is stan.white87 at Gmail. It's stan.white. It is WHYTE for the life of me. If I could get it changed to spell it like everyone else does, cool. That way everybody would find me easier. But it's stan.white, WHYTE87 at gmail.com. Twitter, stanwhite87, WHYTE87, all one word. Follow me, I'll follow you, retweet, whatever, hoops, music, blah, 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 blah. So there's that. There's the contact info. Now for part two of today's show, I'm going to jump into the points breakdown from last night. Another poor ratio night. Very, very poor. I was outscored 80 to 83. He had 2 players. I had 5 going into the night. Thought it'd be a good opportunity to kind of pad the lead. It's kind of the same scenario we were in last Saturday, if I'm not mistaken. Saturday or Sunday, we blew up. Oh, Sunday. It was Sunday night, the epic meltdown, the epic blow up. So, I mean, it was Tuesday, so it's not that big of a deal that I was outscored in such a manner. The score right now is 176 for hashtag I miss you James. Ding. And 149 for MCW, the anti-tank missile. So it's a short lead. It's a small lead. It's a one player's worth of points for the lead. As a matter of fact, it's equivalent to what Kevin Grant gave me in fantasy points last night, which was 26. So that's the lead that I carry right now. And, you know, it's a little nerve-wracking. I'll explain why. Let's just get into how MCW, the anti-tank missile, did. 38 fantasy points from Stephen Curry against New Orleans. 104 to 93 was the score of that game. Steph Curry. He had 24 points and 12 dimes. Getting a double-double. Well, let's just check that. Memory's not exactly the best. I'm sorry, 28 points, 12 dimes, 3 steals, and 4 boards, including 2 3-pointers made, which Fred was kind of small. 11 19 from the floor overall, 4 from the line, 33 minutes played. So I mean, he shot better than 50% from the floor, and was fighting his teammates. Let's stay with that game for a second. Why don't we? I had Eric Gordon and Ryan Anderson in that game. Eric Gordon, arrivederci. No, seriously, Eric Gordon, bye. It's probably the last night that he'll be a part of my team. He was 1 of 9 from the floor, 1 of 3 from beyond, and 2 of 2 from the line. 5 points overall, 2 boards, an assist, and a steal in 24 minutes. So we like to use the term yuck for better or worse. Also, Ryan Anderson, who is enjoying a career year, gave me 17 fantasy points, 21 points scored on the night, 6 boards. Not really much else going on here. 7-7 from the line, though, and we'll get into Ryan Anderson a little bit more in just a second. Also, 2 3-pointers made in 29 minutes. 6-16 from the floor. He had a difficult night as far as getting open. And the reason why, I love this. I really, 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 really love this. To start the game, Warriors head coach Mark Jackson decided to stake Andre Iguodala, just returning from a hamstring injury, no less, mind you, on Ryan Anderson. Now, there's a few things that go into this. I mean, this is right from the jump. So there's a few theories going into it. First of all, New Orleans is a guard-dominate team. Tyreek Evans, Drew Holiday, Eric Gordon. 3 ball handling, ball dominant guards in the backcourt, and really no other effective players offensively other than Ryan Anderson. We all know about the injury situation with Anthony Davis. And with that being said, Iguodala is by far the Warriors' best perimeter defender, best defender overall, and can defend anywhere from the 1 to the 4. And if you're desperate, he can play a small ball 5, which would be ferocious. But you're really maxing him out as a small ball 4. He's more of a bigger swing man, so you can get away with him playing the 4 with his rebounding and defensive capabilities. So he was on Ryan Anderson right from the jump. I watched the first quarter and a half of this game, and just Iguodala was just trailing Ryan Anderson wherever he went. And it's a smart move. It's a great move, really, because you have enough guards to defend the perimeter players for New Orleans. You have Klay Thompson, who is actually a better than average defender, underrated, highly underrated defender. I'm not repeating Zach Lowism here. Had to Zach Lowe in my faves. Grantland.com. Check him out. Zach Lowe. Everybody needs to read more Zach Lowe. Shout out to Zach Lowe. With that being said, he is actually an underrated defender, and you're going to hide Steph on maybe Eric Gordon, or, you're going to find a way to make sure that Steph isn't really isn't getting dominated on the defensive end, because we all know his strengths. Offensively, he's okay. He's getting better as a defender. He is, and that's thanks to his head coach, Jackson. With all that being said, putting Ryan Anderson, making Iguodala follow Ryan Anderson really did limit his effectiveness. You have no other big men that you're worried about that day. You're only playing Drew and Eric Gordon or Tyreek Evans. You're only playing 2 out of the 3 on the floor at one time, unless you wanted to get really funky with it and just throw Jason Smith, Ryan Anderson, Drew, Reek, and Eric all at the same time, which I don't know how that would work out. It seems like there would be more clogging and spacing with that five-man lineup out there. So with that being said, it was very interesting to see Anderson being hounded by Iguodala to start that game, and that's part of the reason why Anderson was 7-7 from the floor. He does not play inside as much, but he's a stretch 4. Stretch 4s don't. It's tough to find a stretch 4 who's as effective outside as in. Daddy Show is more effective inside than out. The stretch 4, maybe the player with the most potential at the stretch 4, as a stretch 4, both inside and out, besides Ersan Ilyasova of the Milwaukee Bucks. Probably Tobias Harris of the Orlando Magic, maybe. So yeah, it's tough to find a stretch 4 who can do both really well. They're either all the way outside and not as good around the basket, or they're great around the basket and their range is lacking. So really interesting there to see that dynamic. We spent about 5 minutes talking about Ryan Anderson and Andre Iguodala. Amazing. Nerdism 101. Embrace it. Shout out of the night to Boogie Cousins. Holy cow, 45 fantasy points, even though it was a losing effort to the Bobcat Hornets of Charlotte. He had 30 points and 17 boards, 6 dimes and 3 steals. They've really made it his team now. It's really Boogie Cousins' team. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's the Marcus Cousins out of the University of Kentucky, who was a teammate of John Wall's. Boogie Cousins was amazing last night. 9 of 13 from the floor, 12 of 15 from the line. Wow. we're really seeing the explosion of Boogie Cousins right now, and that's great. It's great. It's great for the league. It's great for him. Not good for playing him in fantasy, but sometimes you have to be more concerned about the health of the league than the health of your team. Remember that. Wesley Johnson had an impressive night against the Memphis Grizzlies. 14 fantasy points. 7 points overall, 5 boards, 6 assists, 1 steal, and a block. In 32 minutes of action, no threes, 1 of 1 from the line, and 3 of 8 from 4 overall. West, though, will get you that kind of line as a swingman, 2-3 type of position to where he can get you those numbers. And that's great, but he's really consistent. We'll say somber farewell to Serge Ibaka. 24 fantasy points last night. Actually had an impressive game. He had a double-double, 17 and 10. 7-11 from the floor, 3 of 4 from the line. 1 block, and in 31 minutes. Kevin Durant, 26 fantasy points. I guess it's not farewell, KD. It's not farewell. He's 11 to 23 from the floor. So, roughly 50, 48, 49%. 2 of 4 from beyond, and 6 of 7 from the line for 30 points, 6 boards, 3 dimes, 2 steals. So a complete overall game. He's actually been kind of on fire lately, so maybe pulling back the reins on that trade was for the better. So with all of that, it was 80 for me for hashtag Mr. James, and 83 for MCW, the anti-tank missile, which brings us to the score we're at right now, 176 to 149. To preview tonight in detail would take a little while. We'll just give you the head-to-head, position by position, full lineups for both teams. Shelvin Mack matched up against Jamal Crawford. Shelvin Mack's playing against Sacramento. Mack against New Orleans. Brandon Knight matched up points-wise with Kawhi Leonard. Brandon Knight's playing host to the Knicks, who just lost Pablo Prigioni for recent injury. I think it's a couple weeks or so, but he's not playing tonight. Kyrie's playing at Phoenix tonight, so that will be interesting. It's kind of sad not having any Phoenix Suns right now. We really enjoy watching them play. Fun team, entertaining style of basketball. We have Tobias Harris matched up points-wise with Trevor Ariza. Trevor Ariza's playing at Brooklyn. Tobias is playing home to Utah, so maybe we'll finally see something out of Tobias Harris. Dirk is hurt. Dirk is sick with the flu, I think, or with a calf injury. Can't remember. I think it's if I'm not mistaken, I believe it's a little bit of the flu bug. Yeah, he's sick, but he'll play. I believe he'll play. He's playing host to Memphis at 8:30, matched up with, guess who? Boogie, who's playing at Atlanta. He's probably going to dominate again. Boris Diaw matched up points-wise with Andre Drummond. Drummond's playing at Boston. Yikes, he's probably going to dominate. Jared Sullinger is a very effective interior player, but that's the only quality big that they have, maybe outside of Brandon Bass. And Bass doesn't play near the basket. He'll get you a board. He'll get you an offensive board every now and then. He can stretch the floor and hit that mid-range jumper, but he is not, and I mean he is not going to bang bodies with Drummond down low. Sullinger will, not Bass. Joe Jack. Welcome back, Joe Jack. Thought we got rid of you. He's playing host to Washington tonight, matched up point-wise with Gordon Hayward. Tier. Gordon, I tried really hard. Gordon Hayward is playing, again, at Orlando, as we mentioned earlier. That'll take place tonight. Ryan Anderson playing at the Clippers, so the Hornets are on a back-to-back, little West Coast California coast swing there, back to back between the Warriors and the Clippers. The Clippers don't play much defense, so Anderson and Eric Gordon. I'm sorry, this might be the last night with Eric Gordon. And they are matched up against Terrence Jones and Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal, Brooklyn, and Terrence Jones. Sorry, buddy, try it. Terrence Jones is playing host to the Chicago Bulls. So we'll see how that works out. So that is the majority of today's show. Don't forget that contact info that we gave you earlier. We'll run it back real quick before we get out of here. This lovely sunny afternoon here in Philadelphia. Facebook, Stan White, WHYTE. Gmail, stan.white87. I'll keep repeating it. And Twitter, StanWhite87. All one word, it would lie. So, thanks for hanging out today, guys. And, remember, fantasy is ridiculous. I really couldn't explain how to get over some of these little tricky inefficiencies with the numbers. The numbers always lie. So remember that, and don't be afraid to manipulate the numbers. Just don't go full Sam Hinkie. We out.